Didn't know whether they were the big ones or the little ones, but they did away with that when they went all one route.
And because I can do it in reverse, so I gotta picture everything
Oh.
backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, so you bring them home different than you pick them up?
I pick them up going one way, and then when I come home, I go the opposite, so I end up.
So the last one on is the first one off, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
No biggie. It's only till middle of June again, then I'll be up here. We'll pledge allegiance.
Don't sit down, Amy.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Shut up first, don't we? That way somebody won't go in there thinking we're in there.
That's true. I think everybody signed the warrants, but Mandy, and she'll get them when you, hopefully when she comes back. Anybody note any errors or omissions?
No, I looked at that, I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes of last meeting, March 19th, as read.
I'll second it. And move the second that we approve the selectmen meeting minutes for March 19th. All those in favor?
In favor.
In favor. I just need that copy.
On copy.
Do you want to skip down to reports?
So we just hold them all and turn this in?
I think that's it.
I think
Yeah,
that's
that's
it
the only
for
thing you gotta
today.
sign
Dawn.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll just put it back in the green
put it
folder.
back, thank you very much.
There's gonna be no adjustments.
No.
Any announcements?
Nope.
Public comment?
Any comment?
I got that.
Alright,
And no public hearings or possible action, so if we want to, Joelle just left, right? But
Yep.
Code officer, road committee report, she have anything that she,
All she said was, what I'm gonna talk about shortly anyway. What else she say? LD 2003, the accessory dwelling units allowed on lots with a current single-family dwelling, no matter our town district uses lot sizes. Anyway, they're gonna talk about it later on, cause, Ted went to a meeting in Greenwood last night about that LD 2003, so. They'll be discussing.
there'll be something else coming.
Yes,
about it.
yes.
Deputy clerk report?
I've been busy. I have been very busy. I was a little
Yes.
late today. I was registering a vehicle and figuring out somebody's tree growth. So, the biggest thing is tax payments have come in at a very nice pace, and we have about 360 bills left that aren't paid. Some of them are just small balances that they've received letters, and we still just have the one lien for 2023, so we're doing good. Because people are still calling and they're doing their regular taxes and figuring out they didn't make a payment back in September. They can't find that, so
So what happened?
so we've been getting a lot of phone calls.
Yeah.
It's good.
They're coming in good.
Well, let's go with the town administrator report.
Well, Amy's not kidding, she has been busy, Lori's still not feeling well, so Lori's been working part-time and going to doctors and therapy and yada yada, trying to get herself straight. And of course, covering for me with my lifestyle that has now hopefully settled out, but I wanna thank them for all their help and you guys for being so supportive. So my next thing is, I was thinking about the storm on Wednesday. Do you want us to decide to close now if it's gonna be horrendous, or have us come in? I mean,
You'll probably could be good on Wednesday, but
I mean,
Thursday
Thursday,
might be
yeah.
a different
I
story.
wrote Thursday, but you know, I got Wednesday on the brain. I don't know, I just thought I'd throw it out there for you guys
I
to think
think
about.
you can leave it up to you guys.
So,
I mean, how busy are you usually on
And
a
it's-
storm day?
not wicked, and if it's gonna be as bad as they say.
We're gonna get 2 feet of snow, I don't think it's,
Well,
Yeah.
phone call, that would be the only
That would be
thing
the
about
only,
it.
right,
yeah,
if we have
if we have power.
power.
I mean, we have a generator, but then the
The
phones.
phones.
Don't work, cause the internet based.
Yeah, so, just thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, we lucked out the last storm.
Yes, we did.
This one here, they say there's gonna be heavy
Heavy,
rain.
right.
Yeah. I haven't had to use my generator, I'm hoping I don't. I don't have to figure out how to start it, but he showed me a long time ago. So
Yeah,
I haven't done that, so I don't know.
you might wanna try it.
Yeah, so, and my other thing was, the road study, kinda put it on hold because we've got enough other road issues. I don't think we need to worry about the road study right now. I think we gotta get through our repairs before we have to worry about a road study. I don't know. I kinda talked to Joel a little bit
Well,
about it too.
some of
so-
it's not just our roads either, that
Exactly.
need to be repaired.
Yeah, so,
Uh,
I'm just
I
figuring.
just wondered if we got a budget, a little bit of money for that.
Yeah, well, cause on the other hand, I was, we had an engineer to redo our roads, so I threw it out to, Androscoggin Bank, cause they're the ones that, we do our banking with, and I asked about a loan or whatever to cover us, to fix what we can until we get the FEMA money, which could take up to 2 years, as we know. And Joel's had a meeting with them last week, which I couldn't make, but she's, we learned from the last storm.
Yeah,
She's got all the coordinates and all the copies of everything and the pictures and the yada yada, so I'm sure we'll get FEMA money, I'm sure we'll get approved, but in the meantime, we gotta fix the roads. And I threw out a number to the bank, $100,000, because, $100,000, $1 million, sorry. And, so they have it's a 2-year as needed, you can draw from it, and then you can pay it back, and then if you couldn't pay it back, they have another way to set it up at low interest rates.
so if you don't, you would only have to pay back what you borrowed against it.
Or is it interest
It's like
on the
a-
total amount?
No, it would be on that, he's supposed to set it up so I can show you, I haven't got it yet for tonight's meeting.
Almost like an equity loan on
Yeah,
your
kinda.
property. but
Yeah.
This would be on the
Yeah.
town.
Yeah, so, I just threw it out there so we could have, because we gotta have a number for budget. Other than our regular road stuff, we've gotta have a number for budget, so,
Must be.
yeah.
Come
Hello,
on in.
Hello,
Hi.
good evening.
how are you?
I'm
Loretta.
doing well. Thanks for having me. I'm
Sure.
Steve Lieber.
That's Amy, the deputy clerk, secretary, Gary White, Virgil Concrete,
Hi,
Joseph Selectman.
Virgil,
Yeah,
Gary, Amy. Should I sit here?
sit right there, that'd be fine.
Great,
Yeah.
thanks for having me up here. You still have a lot of snow up here, and there's more coming.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
I live in Portsmouth. We get threats of snow and always rain. So
Yeah.
it's pretty nice when it comes to,
We had close to 3 feet here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and in the big storm, we
Yeah.
had 2 inches. It turned to rain and it was gone by the end of the day.
oh no.
Is what you're saying.
Maybe we can swap this time.
Yeah.
maybe you should have the snow this
Yeah.
time.
Because we had 2 feet.
I love the snow.
I do, but
My-
not this time, yeah.
My son, my baby, he's 30, he's a mountain climber, and he's climbed throughout Maine and New Hampshire. That's where he sort of learned his skill. He's in Nepal right now, he's a mountain guide
Wow.
on Mount Everest for
Wow.
the next 60 days.
God, good thing
But
Joel's
this is
not
where
there.
he
She'd
learned
be
his craft,
Yeah.
was hiking in
Yeah.
the mountains of Maine and New
there.
Hampshire.
Wow. Good for him, somebody's gonna like that.
Unfortunately, he was doing that on school days as well.
Yeah.
It was a little bit challenging. Where's Ben? He thought he went to school.
Whoops. He went to the,
He's getting a different kind of education.
yes,
Yes, he did, absolutely, but he's turned it into a profession, which is pretty interesting.
which is good.
One of our
Yeah.
people in town here is, one of the coaches for the US ski team.
Really? Wow. Do they practice near here, or just because growing up by
They
Sunday
go here,
River?
there, and everywhere. I know when he's gone for months sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow. Pretty popular place, so thanks for having me here. You have the binders,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes, they all have copies. Yeah.
So Loretta, where would you like to start?
Well, first of all, we had you folks come and go over everything, and then somebody, prior fire chief, said that the fire stations both have LED lights already.
Mhm.
So,
Correct. You do have LED lights. I think they went in, if I remember correctly, the team said they went in around 2017.
yes,
So, based on our assessment, they're sort of like first generation, borderline second generation LEDs.
okay,
The energy efficiency of what we're proposing to put in, depending on what products they are, either 4-foot or 8-foot fixtures, you're looking at fixtures that are like 60-watt, 40-watt fixtures, depending. And the products that we're gonna put in start, it's all smart lighting now. It's got built-in occupancy controls. It harvests daylight where lights by the window begin to just dim down and they don't need to be putting up full light. Fairly simple technology, but the way it all works together is the complicated part. These will, generally we put things on a high-end trim of about 70%, meaning our lights are really, really bright, but efficient in terms of the lumens per watt. They're up at far above what the industry standard is, which is a standard efficiency product is 110 lumens per watt. So let's use a simple math, a 10-watt product would put out 1,100 lumens. What the industry considers to be a high efficiency product is 125 lumens per watt. That same 10 watts would put out 1,250 lumens. Ours are running at 150 lumens per watt. We call those elite standard because there isn't a standard for it. So that's 1,500 lumens for a 10-watt fixture. So a 26-watt fixture puts out almost 3,800 lumens. We'll usually trim those in almost every case down to 70%. So in terms of the energy efficiency of taking existing original LEDs out from those first generations, you'll be taking out 60-watt and 40-watt fixtures and putting in fixtures that are going to burn probably 18 watts. So it's all about squeezing the sponge and spending less money on energy, so you save. Yeah.
What kind of what's the payback on that?
We've got you, for the 4 buildings, the savings for the town is conservatively at almost $4,400 a year, reduction of the electric costs.
So it'll be 9 years to pay off, right?
Based on what you've got, yes, 8.5 years. And honestly, that's fairly typical for municipal, and it doesn't matter if it's a small town or if it's a large municipality.
Percentages is the same.
Well, because municipal spaces operate at fairly similar hours.
Yeah.
Whether it's a big operation in the,
Yeah.
city of Portsmouth or the town of Newry, pretty much the offices are open around the same. Basic, generally 9 to 5. Fire stations are a little different, DPWs are different, of course. But
We're all volunteers, so it's lights on when somebody's there.
yeah.
Um,
So, there's a couple of ways to look at this. Certainly, the one great thing about LEDs is that they pay for themselves. When you put out a capital cost on any type of equipment that you buy, it's not something that's paying you back. Usually, it's just you need it and you have to buy it. And that might be a new fire truck, a new police car, a new HVAC system. You need it, but it's not actually going to pay you back. It's just a capital improvement. And because there are so many things that every community needs, and there's a list this big of things that the community needs for capital improvement, is usually money this big for.
We know all about that.
And again, it doesn't matter what community, it's the same scale. So that's the reason why these municipal lease purchases are really good. They cost you money. You have to spend a little bit of money to save more money, if that makes sense.
Well, by the time that 8.5 years are up, we'll have to do it again, right?
Well, no, these are rated, the fixtures are rated for 28 years. So while we don't need to project whether 28 years from now, what the heck is gonna be, up in the buildings, or if it's gonna be a different building by then, we pretty much say, look, you're putting lights up that are gonna be up for the next 20 years. Yeah. Older generation LEDs, and that includes our stuff as well, they're reaching end of life. I mean, we thought they were gonna be 10, 12, 15 years, but the technology has changed a lot. Older generation LEDs, you probably, in the original LEDs, you probably remember a lot of people buying LEDs and they burned out really
Well,
fast, because they burned too hot, they weren't controlled.
I worked for the school district for 24 years, and I don't remember when it was. I wanna say back about 2000, but I'm just guessing at this. Honeywell came in and redid all the lights in the whole school district and guaranteed them a savings. Well, they didn't save it, and Honeywell had to kick back money, like in the terms of about $13,000, because they didn't save anything.
An energy savings performance contract.
Whatever it was.
And that was probably, you were going, at that time, you were probably going from T12, the big fat tubes.
Yeah,
To T8, efficient T8s. Everything in electrical business is still named after 8 inches.
yeah.
A T8 is 1 inch diameter, a T12 is 12/8. An inch and a half diameter. A T5, those thin, super bright ones, they're 5/8 of an inch.
I've got a question to ask you.
Yeah.
In my kitchen, I've got an LED light. That sucker flickers constantly.
It's
It's
probably,
got 2 light bulbs in it.
it's probably it's 2 light bulbs,
Two light bulbs in the,
and they both flicker.
yeah.
And you
they're-
screw bulbs in.
Yeah, regular screw-in bulbs in the LEDs, whatever they are. I'll put them in there, and them suckers, they drive you crazy if you're sitting there, they flicker constantly.
Does it have a dimmer switch?
Yeah, it does have one.
It might not be an LED dimmer.
Okay,
If you change the dimmer switch,
that might help it, huh?
yeah, the traditional like halogen or,
My house is about 50 years old.
yeah, it's probably the dimmer switch. There are LED dimmers at, Lowe's, Home Depot. the
Well, I'm just
local
curious,
hardware.
I've talked to different people, nobody could ever give me an answer.
That would do it. If you told me one bulb was flickering and the other one wasn't, I would say it's the bulb. But
I'm
if they're
pretty sure
both,
it's both of them.
it's probably the dimmer switch. I'll tell you a funny story. So, I come from the footwear industry is where I started my career. I was in the supply chain. I worked for Timberland.
Yeah.
And I lived overseas in Asia for Timberland, running all the factories in Asia. And then I went to work for Adidas before I met somebody in the LED business. And they absolutely convinced me like this was the big opportunity to start your own business and stop working for some, for shareholder value.
Yeah.
And my wife thought I was crazy, but we decided to do this. Where was I going on this? We were talking about, where was I going in the conversation? We were talking about the flickering light. So, we start our business, I give my notice to Adidas, and I leave. I was the director of global procurement. I leave, living in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I'm commuting to Canton, Mass every day, where the Reebok building was. Adidas had just bought Reebok. And when I moved back from Asia, I went to work in Canton for Adidas. So, we start this business. My wife and I travel all over China to find suppliers that are making this new technology, LED, this back in 2011,
Yeah.
like incubation phase of this industry. trying to find people that build to a North American standard, UL certifications, and answering all the right questions, so it's not just garbage. And I finally met some people, you know, so we started producing. There were only 3 companies. It was GE, Sylvania, and Philips that were in the lighting business. So I went looking for GE, Sylvania, and Philips, US manufacturing factories over in Asia. And I found it. So we had our bulbs brought in, tubes, because it was a race to the socket at that time, we weren't integrated fixtures. And we were working, my first client was a friend, Peter and Joanne, who owned the Portsmouth Brewery down on Market Street in Portsmouth. They're like, yes, come do it, we can save all this money, there's incentives, et cetera, so we changed them all. And we were actually all at the movies the next day, close friends, we were at the movies the next day, and Peter gets a text, and he rubs my elbow, and he's like, we have to go over to the brewery. He said, why? He said, all the lights are flashing. They just turned them down for the night crowd. We had just installed them that morning. We were all excited. Let's go for dinner. He's like, they're all flashing. And I told my wife, I said, it's all flashing. So we went over to there, and sure enough, they were all flashing. They had to turn them all the way up, and they stopped flashing. I didn't know that I needed LED dimmers.
Yeah.
Because it was an all-new business. I thought it was an absolute disaster. So I had to get an electrician friend to go in on a Sunday morning with me. I went to Home Depot, bought LED dimmers and did that. That was like part of my learning experience. My first customer, he hadn't even paid me yet.
He wasn't gonna either. Yeah.
And I've got thousands of these bulbs have just arrived, and I'm thinking, are they all bad? What happened?
They're all fine.
It was the dimmer. So I feel your pain.
Yeah, it was, it drives me crazy, so, thank you. I guess we go back to town business now.
Yeah.
So on the municipal lease purchase, the reason why municipal lease purchase, you know, is so attractive is there's always limited amounts of funds to be able to invest in these types of capital projects. But we work with Renee and Robin, who own municipal leasing consultants. They shop all over the country based on the size of the project for the best rate they can get. The best rate is an oxymoron today, basically what banking rates are. But the way it's designed is, this is a budget neutral project for you. So what you'll pay for the lease purchase is a little bit less than what you're saving. So you're using your existing electric budget,
Yeah.
which you'll underspend if you put in the LEDs. If you hold your budget, you use that budget to be able to pay for the lease purchase. So while obviously, you know, we had that initial discussion of, well, there's interest cost, and we don't know if the townspeople want interest costs. As you look at the schedule, and we've got you at about $4,400 a year, that's what you would make in your annual payments, with basically using your savings. As you look at the interest schedule, you see, for example, in year 2, you're gonna pay, the interest cost at that time is about $2,000 for the year, but you're saving $4,400. So you're getting all your lights updated, but you're doing that using savings money to pay for it. So it ends up to be budget neutral, and because there's also a non-appropriations clause, which is very important for the select board. Non-appropriations clause means you have the authority, because you actually appropriate those savings in your budget to this payment every year officially when you sign off on your budget. Because it's a non-appropriations clause, you have an out. The non-appropriations clause says, we don't have to appropriate that money if we don't want. So it's, you're making decisions on an annual operating budget expense instead of capital improvement. So you have the governing authority to say, yes, we will do this because there's zero impact to the taxpayer. You're paying with your savings.
So I have a couple questions from one of the selectmen that is not here. she asked, that they're LED lights, correct?
Yes.
And if the light goes out, do you have to change the whole fixture or just,
It depends. If a light goes out there, which will be rare, it's either gonna be the driver, yes, or a sensor that can be repaired in place, yes. Now, the industry also offers a 5-year warranty. We have a 7-year warranty on our product, and we build it. This product is actually manufactured in New England. That was my dream when I went into the LED business, was to bring manufacturing back to the US. I'm running through all these China and Vietnam factories making shoes for 15 years. And my dad was a stride right guy, you know, he brought me to my first factory in Harrison Avenue in Boston, which is now Chinatown. It was a shoe factory making kid shoes. So that was my dream, was to bring the bulbs and tubes business back. That was difficult to do, but in 2015, we started producing streetlights, we started producing smart lighting in 2017. It's all built in my factory by US veterans.
So I don't have to get on a ladder.
No more ballasts.
And I don't have to change
The
those with
thing
more
of it is,
Lori.
If it does need to be changed, like there's one out right there,
Yeah.
if it does have to be changed, you have to have an electrician do it?
It depends. We can change drivers, so. you
Well,
know.
no, what I'm getting at is, are we gonna have to pay somebody to come in and change that light bulb? What
in-
the cost of that would be?
In the first year, and honestly, the technology today is so stable that it's very rare that you have to change something, because everything is under-driven. I mentioned it a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
how
you did say
lights
that.
were flashing
Yeah.
and burning out in the past, because they were just shooting massive amounts of power into these LED chips. Now, we're sort of under-driving the current in them, the technology's changed, and that's why they have such long lifetimes, and they don't dim a year after you got them.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same brightness for the first 10 years, and maybe at the end of 20 years, you're probably gonna be at like 85% of the original brightness. So, yes, sometimes there's maintenance, but the warranty, if the fixture needs warranty in the first 7 years, those fixtures are warranted. We only warranty the labor for the first year, though. But it should be minimal to nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing, but it should be pretty.
I'm just asking these questions because
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm thinking about it.
Well, that's right. And, the other question was, do you check?
How'd you word this?
Yeah, do you check the electrical before installing them? Do you check the currents that come in, you know, to here and see?
To see if there's any issues?
Yeah,
Yes, obviously, if there are any issues found about whether things are not meeting code, my guess is the team, Jason was one of the guys that came through.
yes,
Jason is a journeyman.
Oh,
So
okay.
He puts his eyes on things.
yeah,
He is not considered to be the expert of how your building
Right.
is wired or anything, but he's looking for, believe it or not, knob and tube. A lot of
yeah.
knob and tube we find.
We used to have that at the Great Show.
Yeah.
Hopefully that got all taken care of in 3 years.
We
back.
found that in
Yeah.
the city of
Yeah.
Rochester, New Hampshire, in 2 of their schools.
Oh,
Yeah.
The entire basements were still
Yeah.
open to.
Yeah,
And
that's
they wanted
what
them
I
all
was-
completed smart lighting. Like,
Yeah.
we have to rewire this place because we can't, the electrician can't touch it until he brings it to
Right.
code.
Correct.
So they will, yes, they will check.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we purchased outright and didn't go through a lease, well, what would that change?
Well, your payoff comes faster.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you purchase outright, the savings comes to your bottom line on your budget, which is great.
Yeah,
Pretty much the process is the same. Normally, if it's either a lease purchase or you're paying outright, we send you an invoice when we sign the contract. We send you an invoice for a 50% deposit, and then we progress bill you after that. Progress billing usually starts after the equipment comes in, because once we deliver the equipment, that is usually in the range of 60 to 65% of the project cost. So then we would start the progress billing.
so what we have here is for all the town buildings? What if we decided not to do the fire stations and we just decided to do the Grange Hall and Town Hall? Would that change?
It will not impact the cost of those
Okay.
buildings. No,
Okay.
no, it won't impact the cost of those buildings. So depending on how you wanted to proceed, of course, it's your town. You're
Right.
trying to make the decisions that are the best thing
Yeah.
for the citizens of Newry, not
Right.
for Affinity LED.
Yep.
And so it's up to you, yeah.
And would it be just like this?
Fairly similar. We would put in linears. You're not gonna need a string of 5 of them linked together. That's
Right.
the way they used to be done. They just daisy chained an entire room together. My guess is there's gonna be 4 high output 3 or 4 fixtures, depending on,
Tell us in here. I looked at this one
There's a
time.
number listed there someplace, I thought.
This little
I'm
front
just
page.
looking for
Yeah.
this room.
I can't, that's like, get the magnifying.
I know, I'm used to this.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
This is considered to be the meeting room,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. Meeting room, I do see meeting room.
Yeah.
So we have you specified to have an equal amount of lights. So it might be that they are looking to stretch these across more than 3 beams. But it is possible by the time the project's done, it might be a double and another double. Which means you wouldn't have as many lights installed, and you wouldn't be billed for them.
Right.
Yeah, so when we bring the electrical contractor in, they're really good at also saying, this is how we're gonna do this room. Yeah, because they're good, they're good with our stuff, they know.
So if we went with you and they came, and would you dispose of everything and we wouldn't have to deal with that?
We take care of all the disposal, yep.
Just because I know we pay for lights now.
Yeah, and you'll
Yeah.
get a certificate of disposal for
Yeah.
all the fluorescent tubes
Yes.
that come out, because those have mercury vapor
Yes.
in them. And we're responsible to give you something that says we took care of it the
Okay.
right way. So there's no liability on your part, you know.
Yeah.
And you said the, how long they last is the fixtures are rated about 28 years.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes. So the way they rate the lifetime, we all have to have our products certified by, everybody knows Energy Star. Energy Star doesn't do LED fixtures, they do LED bulbs, but they don't do LED fixtures. So all the Northeast Energy partners, like 15 years ago, as this technology was coming about, made a decision that they were gonna create this consortium called Design Lights Consortium, DLC. And DLC's responsibility was gonna be to make sure that the LED industry, as the technology just rolls through across the world, that it wasn't gonna be the same disaster as CFL bulbs, which there was a lot of garbage, and people were pretty disappointed using CFL bulbs. So, DLC has requirements to be up on their qualified products list, and we have, as manufacturers, we have to turn in third-party lab testing to certify every single product. And then throughout the year, we'll get the random, we're coming out to do a market test, we need you to ship us 2 of this product and 2 of this product, and we need them within 3 weeks, or we're gonna delist them. Because we wanna make sure that you're manufacturing to the same standards that you turn in lab testing. So it's very controlled, like UL is very controlled. We have UL inspectors once a quarter do a drive-by into our facility to make sure we're doing safe manufacturing of the product to their UL standards. So DLC requires that we certify the efficiency. They also require that we certify the quality of the LED chips. So the manufacturers, and generally we use Seoul Semiconductor. I used to use Cree because it was the American brand, but Cree has just imploded. Their product quality in LED chips is not what it used to be. They're not even in the lighting business anymore. They sold their lighting company to Ideal that makes the wire nuts. You have a little plastic jug of wire nuts in your toolbox. that company bought Cree Lighting. So we switched, and Seoul Semiconductor makes the best LED chips out there in the world. There's no question, there's nobody even close to them. So while I build in America, sometimes I have to go outside to get the best performance, and those chips I have to go outside for. So even Seoul Semiconductor has to provide a performance report about the way these LED chips heat up, the way they burn, the way they were originally tested and aged, and it's all under the standards of the Department of Energy that set up these sort of calculators. Because how do you project a 28-year LED when you're developing something new? They are required to burn the LEDs though for 6,000 and 8,000 hours, which takes a year. So there's like, after 2 months, you get the initial certification that they're operating the way they should be. After 4 months, you get another certification. And they're like, if this continues, you will get your final certification, but you have your initial certification that you're good to use these. So, long story short, that's how they're rated, is the amount of light loss. The 28 years is actually considered to be, according to the test reports, the algorithms, the test reports, that the LEDs will still be at 70% of their brightness at 28 years, because 70% is considered to be end of life for LED. Some rocket scientists made that decision
Sounds good to me.
in the late 2000s.
Yeah, it sounds good, but in 28 years.
Yes,
they
I'm
find
not
out
gonna
that
be
that
here.
didn't work.
I'm not gonna be sitting here. So,
In 28 years, you're gonna hope the building that's holding them up is still there.
Right.
I won't have to worry about it in 28 years.
yeah. So if one goes out, doesn't mean the whole strip goes out.
No, they're not like Christmas lights.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I'm trying to think of all these questions.
Like, how do you work with, municipalities when they're still trying to operate while you're trying to do this work?
We'll, in terms of like doing the installation,
Yeah.
Doing installation while they're doing their work.
Yeah,
right, so obviously our electrical contractor and one of our field people will coordinate with you to say, what's the best way to do this? They're probably gonna need, 30 to 45 minutes in a room,
Yeah.
maybe less, depending on how many lights are going on, probably a couple hours in a room like this.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good at just making sure they don't mess up and clean up when they leave the room.
Well, we're closed on Fridays anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Days like that are perfect,
Yeah.
where they could come in and they can
Yeah.
just go to town and
Nobody
clean up
here
at
to
the
bother
end of the
but-
day.
Yeah.
Concentrate on where they're working.
Yeah.
Right. We do a
Because
lot
this
of,
room here could be done anytime.
Yeah.
we do a lot of schools. In fact, we just audited the Bethel schools.
I'm on the school board.
Oh, we just
I
did
may
the
have said, maybe we should look into this. I'm on the facilities committee
Yeah,
of the different buildings there, so I
yeah, so
saw you guys
our,
at a conference. and
our
said,
installations on schools, because obviously you can't just be installing in the summer and school vacations, or you wouldn't be able to get school districts done. We have teams go in, they arrive around 2:30 and they start to set up when the kids have finished school. There's still activities going on, but they're all
Yeah.
respectful of what's going on. And they finish up at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and they work night shifts. And they're very happy when they have a vacation week, and they're like, okay, we're working day shifts.
Yeah.
And they have a little less pressure, because in schools particularly, often, as things come down, as you're demoing old fixtures,
So's the ceilings.
stuff comes down.
Yeah,
And it's a
exactly.
real challenge, it's a little bit frustrating for the electrical contractors, because it's not like a school vacation week or summer vacation where it's okay to do a little more dirt here,
Yeah.
overnight. They have to clean up,
Yeah.
yeah. So that the next day, when the students come in and the teacher comes in, there's no issues.
That's all I can think of from that.
Have you got anything else, I guess?
Our contractor for this project would be coming in from Clinton.
Okay.
That's an hour and a half away,
Yeah, yeah. We would have to.
maybe 2 hours. I've been there, but I don't know that I looked at the watch, but,
Yeah,
Yeah.
depending on driving, it's, you know, it's just north of Waterville, obviously.
yeah.
But they're, I mean, they've done, we just finished, town buildings and street lighting in Bowdenham. We just finished town buildings and street lighting in Topsom. We just finished street lighting in Winnick, in Wiscasset. And they did the work, so, they're used to traveling for work, obviously.
Let's check with them too.
So you're thinking probably not the fire stations, or just,
My understanding was the fire department didn't want to at this point, because they thought they had, we'll have to discuss
We'll have
it
to
some more.
reevaluate that.
Yeah, definitely, yes,
They,
where they
one
had.
of the things that happened at the fire station on Sunday River was, originally the lights were put in directly over the apparatus. And when they changed that, we had to move the lights to the outside edges so that they shine down where you're working, not in the dark part. And that brightened it up a lot, and that could be why they're thinking it's so much, it's okay, you know? This one is not, this one's got the lights dead center of the apparatuses. So you end up with a shadow about the time you wanna go into a compartment to look at something.
right, yeah, which is pretty common. We've done a lot of fire departments. We've done all the fire departments in the city recently. The most recent fire departments are Plastow, town of Plastow, the city of Dover, all three fire departments we just recently did. York, York Beach Fire Departments, and the city of Rochester, New Hampshire Fire Departments. Did we do Kittery Fire Department? I'm not sure if we did. And we did Topsom also. So, no, we understand, there's others, they're just, these are the most recent. We certainly understand, you know, that light is really important. And the nice thing about our lights, because it's smart lighting, is if the bays are open, and the lights are on, the lights will almost look like they're off, because they're gonna quickly,
Tone down.
they'll tone down because they'll harvest daylight. There's photo eyes, and that's, you know, photo eyes are part of the sensors. There's occupancy and there's a photo eye in there, and they're all programmed to work in that technology to be able to, when we install the lights, they sort of calibrate to
What the
natural
room,
light.
what the lighting is in the room.
Yeah, so it's,
Like this room, you
yeah.
know, certain times of the day, sun beats in here pretty hard, because it's the south side.
yeah, absolutely, and the lights that are closest to the window, you'll look up and be like, why are those dimmer? Because they don't need to be bright. And that's really great because you save, that's just energy that you're spending that you really don't have to. But if you shut the lights off, everything over here is dark. So the lights will do that for you. They'll also, will set, you know, they've got sort of like this dynamic occupancy system in there. We set the timer so after a certain amount of time, if there's no occupancy in the room, and keep in mind, every single light is an occupancy sensor, because each one has a sensor. So it doesn't matter which way people come in like a multi-door room, the lights will turn on as soon as they sense somebody in the room. They will dim down to a lower level first, and then there's a second timeout until they shut off. So
You almost don't need light switches.
you don't need light switches. We put in light switches. We actually take let's, for example, a one main box. We tie off to constant power, and we put in a light switch. It's actually battery operated, but it's a battery that lasts for 10 years because it takes no power. And it's all communicating wirelessly with the lights. So you can raise and dim. You can shut the lights off and then walk across the room and they won't turn back on because they sensed occupancy.
Yeah.
So when we shut the lights off, you shut off the smart system,
You know,
or you just hit up, you know, keep it on, the top button's the biggest button, it says auto, that's on. You just hit auto and set it and forget it, and if nobody touches that switch for another year, it doesn't really matter, because as people come in, they turn on, as people leave, they turn off. Yeah. We can set up scenes, examples are here if you are having meetings, and we do it in pretty much every classroom that we do, where there's a scene button also, you hit the scene button, toggle into the first scene button, all the lights come down to 30%, except the ones that are around the projector, they shut off. So you can see what's on the board. And that's sort of like the projector scene in any classroom and conference room that we have. Yeah, it's a pretty cool system. We've worked on this and developed it, and we implemented it in the first school district in 2018. We put in 7,000 fixtures into the Rochester School District, and they're thrilled with the savings. They had anticipated at those rates, because I can just remember those days, right? The electric bills have gone up a lot since then. But at that time, we were projecting $130,000 for the district. It's 9 schools. And first year they had over 150,000. Because they sort of engaged in this. They're like, we like this. Can we take the halls down 10% more? Because we feel like they're definitely bright. It's not task lighting needed. So they tweaked. And we taught them also how to do it, because we give you instructions on how you can reprogram if you want by yourself, or we'll do it for you. When you really engage, it's amazing how much you can squeeze the sponge in terms of reducing the electrical consumption. Yeah. You can tell I get really excited about lighting in these systems.
Yeah. Cool. Got anything else thinking, Amy?
I can't think of anything.
And it
It was a
all
good
will
presentation.
work fine, like if we lose our electricity, we have like a
Yeah.
on-demand generator, it all,
Power comes back up as
Perfect.
soon as they're powered.
okay,
They all have memory.
okay.
So they remember when you shut power off, or they time out, you know, they remember. When you power them back up, they'll be right back where they do.
Because here, the power goes off probably a dozen times a year.
Yeah, like the other day, it's fucking freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't
So that
know.
was good. I guess that was just one of the other ones I
Yeah.
thought about was the generator.
The latest technology it's all proven, it's all working. We're using it in our offices already, is plug load control connected to the system. So plug load control is, you know, you probably know of people that, like, when they go away, they unplug everything because they,
Yeah.
We gotta save.
well, you feel safe, and also they draw a little bit of power.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
that's plugged in is drawing a little bit of power. So plug load control is a big deal now in the energy efficiency world, where the industry says it's between 15 and 25 cents a square foot is saved on an annual basis. The plug systems are also wirelessly communicating in with the network in each room. When the lights time out, non-essential plugs, the load is shut off. So that doesn't include refrigerators, doesn't include computers. So each plug has a constant power on the top, and then a plug load control on the bottom. If it's plugged into the bottom, when the lights shut off, so will the plug.
That's good to a point, you know, like your phone charger, but if I had that at home, it would be an issue, you know?
Yeah, phone chargers, computer,
Yeah.
you know,
Certain
chargers.
things you wouldn't wanna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's one that is always constant power, but plug load's a
Yeah.
big deal. We're talking with, we're working with Banwell Architects up in Lebanon on a new school, and they're like, nobody has a system that works with the lighting system. Usually has to be wired into the automated building controls, which is really expensive. And this is just install these plugs, change your plugs. That's it, that's all we have to do. And put in smart lighting, because they need to talk to each
Right.
other. Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
Cause I'm still back on yanking the rope.
They break, Tink, they
Yeah.
break.
Until you pull the rope too tight.
Yeah, my rope
Done
gets
that.
slow.
That's when you change the little chain that broke
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
a shoelace.
Yeah.
And then it'll stay for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my dad would do. What is the situation, I'm gonna ask you this question because this new funding opportunity notice came out yesterday from Efficiency Maine on outdoor lighting, that's not tariffed street lighting. Do you have outdoor lighting in town that is not LED because there
Well,
is new?
like the doors in front of the fire stations have lights on. These, I don't know if this has got one or not.
Yeah, we got up to
But I
lights,
think
but-
this one, yeah.
In the
Yeah.
range hall.
And the Grange Hall, yeah. Cause our streetlights are all LED.
Right.
Yeah.
You already changed your street, did you do that through CMP?
Yes.
They changed them for
Yeah.
you? We did, we've done, I don't know, somewhere between 35 and 40 communities in Maine. Our first love was Augusta. Augusta's the first community in Maine that signed up
We have
for us.
flagpole is
Yeah,
lit.
we have a few.
Actually, that's off
That's off the streetlight, right?
the street.
Is that what it is? I know
Yeah.
when you leave here at dark, it's lights
It's
up,
on, yeah.
You have a couple of LEDs on Fire Station 2, is that,
That's the one on Sunday River, so.
Sunday River? You have LED exterior lights already.
Yeah.
Grange Hall has an LED spotlight with motion.
It's
Well,
horrible.
It's broke,
Oh, it's broken.
yeah.
So we
can't get
considered
down the
that to be
stairs.
out of scope, you probably need to replace it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Because we went to turn it on, it didn't work. Well, it was so.
It was so dim you couldn't even
Couldn't
see the
it,
stairs.
Yeah, it's probably just an older,
Yeah,
I
it
meant.
definitely
Yes.
is.
yeah. And then town hall, you have, in the exterior, you have some downlights outside, can lights, and some other bulb type products that we had proposed, where you have these 2 lamp spotlights
Mhm.
in 3 places around the building, to change those to a wall pack mounted onto the outside of the wall.
So when you mount them on the outside of the wall, when we have a, building washed,
No problem,
okay,
they're all IP66,
yeah,
so, they'll take a hose,
yeah,
no problem.
okay. I can't remember how the guy does it, but it needs to be done, yeah, but, yeah.
When you decide to wash the building.
Yeah,
Usually it's.
supposed to be every year, but it wasn't done last year, it was done the year
They're
before.
done spider webs and stuff on the white,
Yeah,
Well,
it does well.
cling to it, you know, because we got vinyl siding, so there's little places underneath cracks there where they
Yeah.
make it a nest.
Okay. We'll get some,
Well, I guess next thing would be is when Mandy comes back, we'll discuss it some more.
yeah, next
So
week.
that would be our next meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna make up our mind right now, we gotta discuss
Yeah.
it, we got some serious issues with our budget, we had massive amount of road washouts, I mean, complete roads gone. And our budget, we gotta come up with some of that, and some of this we might be stealing from here to do that.
Yeah, is there any federal money for your roads?
There will be, but it takes a couple of years before you get it.
Couple of years, that's the speed of government, oops. sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a December 22 storm, and we just got the FEMA money,
No kidding, from December 22.
yes. So,
And this one's
this one was
Effective.
a
fair,
whole lot
way
more.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
but
Was this from the recent storms?
The
December.
December 19th storm,
Yeah. Oh, 20.
we had flood in some places, like nobody's ever seen it before.
Unbelievable,
We had 7 inches of rain in 10, 12 hours.
unbelievable. Yeah,
I mean, we got places where you could stand in the bottom of where the water was, and the blacktop is up here.
that's incredible.
I mean, we patched it up so that people could get in and out, but we've got some major money to spend, and that's why,
We got some thinking,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
definitely. But thank you for coming, it's,
I mean, I'm not, I think the program sounds pretty good, but we gotta look at the big picture.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, like I mentioned, you're making decisions that are best for the citizens. This is an investment that you're gonna save some money. Other things you have to invest because you have to spend the money.
Yeah,
So it's really just finding the balance. Yeah.
yeah.
There's where potentially the benefit is if you do decide to go with a lease purchase, because the capital money, it sounds like it's needed to go in
Yeah.
other places. And this gives you the opportunity to
Yeah.
basically put in escrow money for the project, and then you make the payments with the savings instead of actually having to do the capital budget, which is exactly the reason why this is for.
right,
Of course, it costs you the money to save the money. Your typical reductions,
Money's not free anymore.
was it ever?
just sounded good.
So, like in town hall, what you're
Yeah.
spending on lighting energy, we're gonna reduce by 79%. The amount of the electricity that your lighting is using, you'll reduce by 79%. So, to get 79% saved in the energy here, it costs you 6.35% on the lease purchase, because you're using external money to do that. But that's really where the balance comes in.
Well, I guess that's our decision, how we have to do it.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're not right, you're not wrong.
Yeah, we just try to give you the alternatives.
Yeah.
There are many communities that there's just, you know, if there's this bucket of money, 5 people are looking for buckets.
Yeah.
And this gives them opportunity to say, okay, we can push that project off. It's very common to do it for, we sit through a lot of select board meetings and city council meetings. It's very common to be done for like a new police car and a fire truck,
Yeah.
lighting
Yeah.
project. Because there's other things that are needed for the capital.
Right.
Good?
All right.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you for the invite.
You're
It
welcome.
was a beautiful drive up.
Yeah, and you got a great weather,
You
so.
could be putting it daylight all the way home.
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
Finally,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, we'd have a 5 o'clock meeting, and we'd leave here, and it was dark.
now,
yeah,
now if we
Probably
can just
dark at
have
5
spring.
when we started it.
yes. Ready for spring?
Now if we can just get spring, that would be nice. I'm just gonna
Thank you.
leave you
Okay.
my
Thank you.
card. Thanks for having me up here. It's a pleasure to
Thank
meet
you.
all of you.
We'll be in touch one way or the other
Good.
anyway, so.
Sure, let us know what you decide.
Definitely.
Great, nice to meet all of you.
Some of
You
this
too.
may not have to come
Thanks.
until town meeting time, too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye-bay.
Thank you. He's a good salesman.
Also, president of the company.
Yes. The people that came. But he was in on that Zoom meeting I had with them.
So I did notice he took a long time to not answer the question about paying it right up front.
Yeah,
The
And I-
other one I never got an answer on was, do we have to hire an electrician to change the lights?
Yeah, not necessarily.
yeah,
Yeah, but I didn't get that,
It
never
depends,
got
I
a
guess,
yes or
what
no
it is.
answer.
You
Right.
know, it depends,
But-
I guess, if it's the
Yeah.
sensor.
I think
or-
the reason why he wanted to extend it out on the payments is so that it wouldn't have to go before town meeting. Cause if you made a capital improvement, rather than doing it, the way that he laid it out, that would be a capital expense and it would go before town meeting. Now this way, the way he explained it,
yeah, I wouldn't
it
have to.
wouldn't have to, just business as usual.
But I think I should call the other towns to see what they think.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not against it, I just
No, me either, it sounds great, but
hope it's as good as he
Sounds
sounds it
great.
is.
a lot of things sound great, so,
Sounds it, you know.
yeah. So I'll call them other places, the fire departments and the towns that have been done. And I wrote down Rochester School District, see, because they were the first ones, so,
I think Marshall was listed in here too, high school.
yeah. So-
What did the school decide?
They were still waiting for their report to come back.
Cause our report took a long time.
It took quite a while, but they
Yeah.
had come, Arlen was still waiting for the report to come back, cause I mean, it's a
Yeah.
pretty big
Yeah,
project, so,
Wish they don't have Andover to do anymore.
yeah, so.
true,
Cause it, for this, as far as the schools, they're not gonna be allowed to have fluorescent lighting after a certain
good
period
time,
Oh,
of time, so there is an update that has to be made at some point, so.
yeah. Well, we have
They're,
to,
they're in the same boat with the flood, they lost,
Yeah,
they
right.
had big budget issues too.
yeah,
Right.
so we're trying to figure out our money for the schools.
everybody's trying to figure out.
Everybody's trying to figure out how they're gonna budget.
Okay,
We're gonna do budget,
we're on the budget, I guess.
where did we leave off?
Well, if you start at the beginning, I'll tell you your changes, and I did update them. So you got the new book, I mean, the updated book. You want to change, yeah, there it is. Advertisements we lowered on the first page. And I adjusted the total. And I can't turn my page, hold on a second. Second page, we didn't do any changes, capital improvements, we still hang on there. Third page, I updated the town graduates. And, okay, got my ruler. Lifeline, we upped that to 2,000, town graduates, we did $500 apiece.
Is that like Project Grad?
No, Project Grad is 500 period, that's in there too, that's up above that, that's 500. And then the Cancer Resource Center in Maine, we did 500, they had only asked for 50. And the food pantry, which we had talked about, but they asked for 1,600. That was a percentage of what he said he had for Newry residents for Sondande. So Bethel's got hammered for the food pantry too.
Like 19,000.
Yeah, this was an ungodly amount at once. Oh, they put them enough better water. That's all it did for me, but you're not looking pretty.
I think it was an email, wasn't it?
Yeah, it probably was, and I think it went to Joanna, not me. But it was a percentage of people he thought from Newry.
And it was, I wanna say it was like 4%,
Yeah.
I think.
And we'll see if it gets voted on at town meeting, I guess. People might decide not. Because I have a note on it for him to come to the meeting. Oh, yeah. Mary's 4% is 1,600, therefore that is our donation request. Their yearly food budget is 40,000. So,
And Bethel got asked for almost,
I
it was
think
close
like-
to like 50%.
yeah, that's what's crazy money, but, so, I fixed those. Page 4. When we were doing the boards and committees, I had added wrong on the school board, so they're 4,800 instead of 45, because we gave them a raise of $100 each. So, we kind of stopped at highways, because the next meeting is when the contract is due. that we put out to bid, so we'll know more then for.
We need to put the, is this the year that we have to do the following contract again?
That's what,
That's the one?
one that's coming,
Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know whether we
Yeah.
were talking the,
Yeah, summer, this
Fixing
is
the
all
road.
our regular road contracts,
okay.
yeah, so I haven't done a thing with that, other than street signs, I didn't think, I asked Joelle if she knew of any that we had to have a lot of replacements or anything, and I kept it at $1,000, I mean, I don't know if we should up it to, we don't have any big signs,
No, but you might get somebody knock the stop sign down or something and it needs to be replaced. I mean, not,
yeah,
I mean, I don't know what they cost, but I don't think they're, I think $1,000 might be enough to cover it.
yeah, I wanna say if you order a street sign, it's like $40 or
Yeah,
something.
and then the post,
Yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking too.
it's been a while since I've had to order any, but, and then the miscellaneous road work, that's like if Alan has to move a tree or other little things, I left that at 3,000 like last year.
Yeah, so we gotta come up with an answer for summer road maintenance.
Yeah, that'll be in the contract that's due next meeting,
Okay,
summer and winter roads,
well,
so.
some of that summer stuff is we got, as well as storm issues.
Yeah, the storm is gonna be under capital improvements, I'm gonna put all the storm work under that.
Okay,
That was,
Did we increase the
no, we kept on the same. I think we increased just school board and, no, I did increase the planning board because I had more for them before. I didn't bring that with me, my
Cause it says,
meeting on that.
I thought we gave them the increase of 100.
We probably did. Yes, we did, so that makes them 1,600 each. And then we pay Becky out of that, and we still
But
have,
it stayed the same.
right, because
And
we
you
still
still
have,
have, okay.
yeah, we still
Okay.
have enough money.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure.
No, that's it. Good time to ask.
Okay.
So the health insurance, Retta can't add, so that has increased. But I think I went a little high, because at this point, we have used about 80,000.
we're not halfway through the year yet.
Well, we got,
I mean, the way they bill it, yeah.
yeah, I think we're a month ahead. I think
We're a month
we're
ahead.
ahead,
We pay a month in advance.
advance.
Yeah.
So we've spent 78,000 right now. And it's
Okay.
about 7,000 a month-ish. So I put 104,
Because they potentially do their increases in
I was
January.
gonna say, they
Yeah.
usually always have an increase.
Yes.
January.
so I put 104, I'm not sure. And then on our workman's comp, that had, I wish I could figure out how they do the workman's comp. Because right now we're negative $1,000 on the workman's comp from 24. So I upped that to 8,000. So the total for the insurances is 128,200.
Did we have any claims on
We
that?
haven't had any claims, but it's on how they
Yeah.
adjust it. And then sometimes throughout the year, they send you a refund check.
Yes, they do.
So-
A lot of times they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
So they confuse the heck out of me, so I'm not gonna pretend I know, but. Exactly, I gotta have her explain it to me.
Well, there's probably some percentage or something.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Municipal building, I left at 25. Electricity, we lowered a little bit.
Did that new heating stuff make it lower?
I don't think so.
I'm just curious.
I mean, it keeps us, it's better, those heat pumps, you can't run when it's really cold.
Yeah.
Heat pumps are good in the summer. 'cause
Yes, for the air conditioning,
Yeah,
yes.
why do they call them heat pumps?
Well, it's because it comes out of the ground, I mean, it keeps the temperature of the
Yeah.
ground, so anybody that I've heard says, you know, they're good in the summertime.
Yes,
Wintertime, it would cost you twice as much
Yeah.
electricity if you run them.
Yeah,
They,
And they
they told
freeze
us
up.
if it
Right.
got too cold, then
Yeah.
you just turn them off. But,
yeah,
so that's what we do.
yeah. So
But
kinda
it's
weird.
nice in the summer.
It is nice in
Because
summer,
it
I mean,
keeps
it's-
it more.
And we don't have the window ones to make it look hideous. But speaking of windows, when we're in a municipal building, we've gotta get shades, cause the other ones we had were crappy. I have no idea where to get 'em. I mean, I was thinking bolsters, but they closed. I don't know who else does that. I do not want to install it. I am not
I
that
don't
kind
wanna
of person.
measure that.
So,
I'm sure, like Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that, like you could get them and they install them,
yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah, there
But
might
you
be, I
gotta
don't know,
measure
I just
it.
go online and look for somebody does shades, I guess. but-
yeah. 'Cause we gotta get something. As, when that guy was sitting here talking,
Yeah,
and the way the light was, I could barely see him.
and planning board has
Yeah,
a,
has,
has
yes,
a issue
Yeah.
sometimes.
there's kind of.
Well, you can go to Walmart and buy the things and just pull them down.
Yeah.
That's what we
Yeah.
have.
Well, and then the strings broke, or the little hooky broke, and it's like, dude,
They've
I don't know, you're
already,
probably gonna run into that no matter what you do.
right, so,
but they have nicer shades now.
yeah, those were old, but, all right, so I'll check for those, so I didn't know, that'll come under something else, well, I could put it under building maintenance, I guess. Should we increase the building maintenance for the shades?
Let's put in another, I don't know, $500-600. Maybe more than that, maybe you just gotta check and see what they
Let's
have.
see what
Okay,
their
okay.
See
cost
what you can
maybe.
find.
Okay, I'll check. That'll be a tomorrow project.
Yeah, got it down.
Yeah, fire department, I think we went through that last time. They, yes, cause Alan went through it with me before the meeting the last time. And then, so, I heard from, sanitation, I kept the same, I haven't heard from Bethel any different. But we've got, seem to have plenty. Sanitation. So far, we've spent 160,000 versus what this said, 139. 158,754, so. We got 3 months left. April, May,
June and June.
we might be running close. But, so I'll check on that one for the next meeting. Check on the rates. Streetlights, we lowered to 1,000, because they've been doing well. Animal control, you guys said to put 3,000, so I did that.
Well, we're paying whatever it is
Yeah.
a month and
Yeah.
plus whatever.
And it seems to be working out good. He's had some calls about lost dogs up Sunday River and stuff. He said, you were right, most of my calls were from ski season. And then he called today and he says, oh, you have some kennels in town, so when he gets back from vacation, he wants to do just a preliminary inspection, because they're supposed to be inspected, which I knew they were supposed to be.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we have Kevin and Jimmy Oscar, so the ones we have. So he asked if I minded if he did and I said no, because we have to do that for the state, it's regulated. And he said that, there's a new animal control state person now, and where they're in the area a lot, because of Greenwood issue, so,
You wanna be up on that.
yeah, yeah. Sunday River Schoolhouse, 4,000, I kept it at 4,000. I haven't got the estimate for the painting, so I'm not worried about that this year. Forest Fire Reserve, you wanted 5,000, like we normally do. Tax maps, we put 5,000 like normal. Capital improvements would be the roads.
What was miscellaneous
Oh.
sold for?
The what?
Miscellaneous sold.
Oh, that was a church.
Oh, okay.
That was a church. I went by the
Oh, yeah,
recreation.
yeah.
Go back up to recreation committee.
Right under animal control.
Yeah. The rec director from the town of Bethel came, and, because last year we gave him $1,500 that we had, and he said, the town of Bethel is currently proposing a recreation budget of $74,720 for the next fiscal year. It's offset by $15,000 in anticipated registration fees, because when the kids play for teams, they have to register online, and it's X amount of dollars. So that leaves a net cost of $59,720. They've seen about 7% of the program registrations come from Newry residents. So they finally got, so they can figure that out now. And they're asking for 4,200 from the town of Newry for our Newry kids to, because they have to have insurance and everything else, which I didn't think was too bad.
Plus they still have to pay that regular other fee.
The kids, families would have to pay that fee, but, you know, this is for maintenance of the fields and stuff that they have to take care of, and I don't know, get taken care of.
When they take care of and they use SAD 44 fields.
Well, not all SAD 44. And they don't, and I do know this for real, that SAD 44 doesn't always stripe them and mow them. But Greenwood and Woodstock are doing theirs different, because they provide fields, so they're gonna do maintenance, but. And they do use the one on Old Pine, but that's private, that's Marjorie's, so that's not us, but. That one up back behind Crescent Park, not the one right behind Crescent Park, the little Wakefield Way.
The second one
Is that
back.
towns? Is that Bethel's or?
Yeah,
I think that is town.
Is it? I couldn't remember, it's been so long.
I
I
know
don't know.
44 maintains that.
So. But anyway, that's what they're asking for, is 4,200. So, I don't know if y'all leave it, or what do you want?
Well, if we're getting kids that are
Doing it,
doing it, then, you know,
I'm sure will be discussion at town meeting, anyway.
that's fine,
Yeah.
they can.
That's what they're supposed to do. But I will give them credit, at least they're asking, and giving you history, because I kept asking for that before, even when I was in Bethel, they didn't have this. Well, of course,
I mean,
I think
They
there's
just
a new
started the
system or
registration
something
online.
if you're asking for stuff, you kinda need to be able to back it up.
yes,
It helps.
yes. So that was the new thing that I had gotten.
What's the capital improvements?
Yeah, nothing there yet.
Working on
Yeah, we're
it.
working on that.
Oh, yeah.
Simmons Brook Bridge, I put in another 80,000, because we had budgeted 200 last year, and it's gonna be 264. And then we need the engineering, so we just added a little bit more, because, not for a while, but. And fire department would like to put 75,000 in their capital reserve, and I left ours, town buildings, 75,000, but I didn't know if you wanted to lower that this year or leave it the same for our capital.
What are we looking to be doing? Anything?
Other than the lights that we need done here.
'Cause I'd heard about some other things that they wanted to do.
Well, there's a lot of things I'd like to do, but, I mean, like it needs to be painted and stuff, but we got roads, so
Yeah, no, that's why I just,
yeah. Well, that was my thoughts, we have, you know,
We're
I
having
mean,
a pizza and paint,
I,
so
yeah,
bring your clothes.
yeah, I'm not painting. And my other thought was, and this is just, I'm throwing it out there, because I don't climb ladders and I don't change light bulbs, and we need a maintenance person or something, so.
Why, you don't like Lori and I doing it?
Well, not the way Lori's been lately, and we wouldn't want her on a ladder, but, yeah,
what kind of a figure would you think on that?
I have no clue.
Uh,
And I, you know, I mean.
As needed?
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't need them much, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I just want,
Sometimes Lori and I just.
What would you expect him, the maintenance person, to do?
Other
Change light
duties as
bulbs
assigned.
and-
yeah,
The duties as assigned.
yeah. Well, mostly, you know, change light bulbs and, but now you're putting me on the spot, I can't think of the other stuff that we, you know.
Maintenance man, they might be, have a, I don't know if they could fix something electrical, or whether you'd have to have an electrician, it depends on what you
Yeah.
get for a maintenance person.
Probably
Right.
an electrician, and where it's a public building, it'll probably have to be an
Right.
electrician. But if you needed a shelf built or something like that,
Yeah.
maybe something
Or
could be
something
done.
fixed or whatever, but. Well, like these windows haven't been stained, I mean, Joelle thought she was gonna have time to do that, she didn't have time. to do
And
that.
it might wanna have somebody hang up the,
The shades.
You got shades, yeah, I don't know, I just threw it out there, cause
I don't-
they do climb on the ladders and change light bulbs, because they need to be done, but now we're getting running out of light bulbs, so,
Yeah.
and they gotta be changed because they're, well, they're gonna be outdated there.
Yeah, they're gonna be updated.
Which I think is running
let's
out,
put a $500 figure in on that.
so. Then I thought, could it be the guy that cleans, I mean, it doesn't,
Please, no.
you can't say it's on tape, but,
Wait, wait. I think we're in that.
oh, yeah.
I mean,
But you don't wanna, I mean, it's not,
well, yeah.
you do it because we have to do it. But, I don't know,
I'll think.
I'm not trying to, you know,
I'll think
just
on
think
it.
on it, we don't have to put anything in there, but,
We'd have to put it out there for a maintenance person.
yes.
I don't know if you put that out to bid, like, you know, he'd give you an estimate of different jobs, or,
I know.
I mean, if that would tell you what you needed to.
Well, if you're just gonna come tend to light bulbs,
Yes, that's,
you know,
yeah,
that's a,
yeah.
as needed thing, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, like if, okay, like last weekend or whenever it was, they were renting the Grange Hall and the fridge was out. We didn't know that.
Did you buy them?
I didn't much said Peanut went over because I was down there.
Oh, maybe.
So he went over and he found out that the breaker had
True.
tripped. Why, I don't know. He goes, they haven't checked it since, and I should because they left double bags of ice. He goes,
Thank goodness.
"But,
Wish it's just ice.
yes. Thank goodness. It's been a little crazy, so I just remembered that.
I'll put it on the list.
Yeah. I don't know, think about it, and then we'll think about it, because I don't know, I just don't like them climbing the ladders and stuff.
Potential workman's comp.
Yes.
You need a spotter.
Yeah.
Phone's ringing, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite interesting, I think I got pictures.
Yeah, she does, every time we do
Do it,
something
yeah.
like that. Well, if we want it to get done,
I know.
we get to do
Well,
it,
it's
we
like
gotta
how you
do it.
So, that was just my thoughts, but,
Well, I suppose we could have a maintenance person could do the paint and stuff, depends on what your,
yeah,
Yeah, what you,
What the qualifications
right,
are.
so I, just throwing it out there.
what your qualifications are,
Yeah.
I guess, you know?
just thinking of some of the projects that you
Yeah.
have to think
Yeah.
about.
We'll make a list.
Well, it probably could be, yeah.
Maybe.
Well, cleaning out the Grange Hall.
Yeah,
Doesn't,
no, but
Clyde do it?
Well,
we have
yeah.
chairs that are broke, we've got 10 mops out back, the basement needs to be cleaned, all that.
We need it,
Actually, need a lot of lighting down there.
yes, we need that.
Well,
We
we're
need that too, I'm working on that too, but yeah. You know, and stuff in our basement that needs to be hauled off, I don't know if there's a whole lot.
You know, we get stuff
Because we got it
up
shredded. so-
behind the building that,
Yeah,
Just those
So-
types of,
but, I don't know. Something to think about. So next meeting, come with your thinking cap on, write your little list.
oh, we were supposed to remind you about the selectmen's report, it's supposed to be right here.
Yes, that
Did
too.
you ever get that yet?
No, should I check my mail?
I'm waiting for a couple more registrations.
I turned in the one for the fire department.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did yours, we
We
got the
have-
planning board too.
We get the planning
So,
board?
yeah.
I'm not sure when we did, I did the calls. and-
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then the bottom part, we always had where the age of the trucks and.
Yeah, we got that too.
Yep, we got that.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. That all got verified.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I didn't remember doing that part of it,
Yep.
but it should be the same as last year's book. so-
Right,
Yep.
because you didn't buy new trucks,
Right.
so. So the road study, did you wanna put some money towards that, or hold off? That's my question.
I think maybe put it in there, and then we'll let the town decide whether they wanna,
Okay.
the voters, whether they want to or not, and you know, whether they wanna hold off.
Yeah. I mean, just put, well, towards making the numbers where I have to look, so, okay.
I thought at one time, Sunday River said they'd cover a big chunk of.
Well, they said they would, see, we got the road study that we wanted to do in Newry, and then there was the road study that was supposed to be DOT Bethel and
Yeah.
Newry
That's
and Sunday River, which is different. So. Planning board was looking for a road study for subdivision stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's some issues certain times of the year
Oh, yeah,
that carries into Bethel and Greenwood and
but
basically the
that's a
26
DOT issue, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's all the way down through Market Square.
Exactly,
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
a 26 corridor
yes,
problem.
yes. So it's not
So
technically,
we can fix that.
yeah.
Maybe we can. That's not our control.
so I don't know.
Well, They need to
I
know.
expect
We
that
agree, Jim.
DOT has a lot of projects on their plate too, because they're in the same situation that we are with our roads.
Right,
So it might not be a great time for them to be,
yeah.
you know,
I mean,
trying
Well,
to.
but they've got engineers and stuff that
Oh,
they're
yeah.
working on
Yeah.
projects all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, they could get on the list, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, we talked, you know, Sharon and I talked to this guy, I mean, Joel and I, that from DOT about the big project.
Yeah.
But our little study, so technically there'd be two road studies, two separate.
Yeah, but some of the numbers could be the same. From traffic numbers after Mount Abram could be the same, whether it's on Sunday River Road or it's in Bethel, you know.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. That's something else to think about for next week.
I wonder what effect that light in Bryant Pond has on the backed up traffic and everything.
can't be good.
I'm sure the skiers don't like it much.
No.
I'm sure there's a lot of red lights run. That's a temporary thing.
I haven't heard too many complaints on the mornings, I mean, I haven't seen anything on Facebook.
When I've
about
headed that
it.
way, I've been going
I
232.
Yeah. I haven't had to go that way, I was going to Farmington, so
Yeah.
I don't do that either, but, I mean, I was kinda lucky I didn't have to do that.
It's not really a big holdup. I didn't think, but.
Yeah. Oh, Amanda's not here to adjourn, so I guess you guys gotta figure that out. Unless you have something else. I have nothing else.
Make a motion,
Whoa,
we
whoa,
adjourn.
whoa.
Gary does.
I just wanna know, would it be easier to meet during the day time? Like 10, 11 o'clock, or do you like to stay at 5 o'clock?
I prefer daytime, but depends on.
Yeah,
select-
we used to.
We used to meet
I don't
9
know
o'clock in the
what
morning.
What her schedule is. Yeah, we
If
used
you
to
do
be-
Tuesdays,
I can remember when I
she's
first
off.
came on, it was 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning.
yeah. But,
Well, that's because I was working
Working
nights and.
Yeah.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
I mean, right now, I'm around during that time, so
Yeah. We can meet whenever you guys
I
want.
don't have a
If you do
problem.
Tuesdays, she's got the whole day off, Monday and Tuesday.
well, let's table that and put it on
Okay.
there for, well, we should find out before, so we can do the next one, but.
Right,
I should-
Actually, I
I can drink about anything less short of a snowstorm.
right, I tried to get another meeting going tonight, but I said I can't, 'cause.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Well, so we'll shoot for the next one.
Well, let's just bring it up. and-
Well, no, the next one we gotta have it, because the road bid's supposed to be in that night.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do
So we'll
five,
talk
yeah.
about it, yeah, so we'll do
Maybe
We'll
five.
bring it up and then the
Yep.
three of us can hash it
Yeah.
out and see what.
Yeah,
I mean, that way you guys will be out of here before 6:30.
We can have any overtime for anybody, or extra time. Comp time, I guess we call it.
yeah, she doesn't get
I don't
comp
get
time.
comp time.
Just Joel gets comp time.
I don't work
I don't
40
get
hours,
comp
so I
time
don't get.
You
That's
can
right,
think
I don't
it.
either.
Great, that's the great thing about salary, ain't it?
I don't want comp time, I hate comp time. I hate offering comp time.
It's hard to keep track of,
It's,
when it's a little bit here and a little bit there.
yeah, I don't like it.
How do you really know for sure?
I try to monitor it closely. And Lori just, Lori's pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I guess now you can.
They
move
go
on.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn.
6:30.
I'll second it. And we can second that we adjourn at 6:30. All those in favor?
In favor.
In favor.
Okay, thank you very much. So next meeting, we'll find